you know, I'm gonna start with my eyes. And by the way, I'm not naked. I've got a tube top, I guess that's what it's called, on because it is so hot. And because of my bright lights, I just don't want to like be sweating off my makeup as I put it on. So that is why. Okay, you know I'm gonna start with the eyes first. They are so easy, and I love this look, and I think you will too. I'm gonna go in with my Mercier Eye Basics in the color Buff. Yes, I've got a bunch of these, and I love every single one of them. I think these are awesome. And you know, I've had these, I used to have them a long time ago, repurchased them because they were just getting old, and they just don't dry out like a normal paint pot might. Really love them. And I'm just taking the Real Techniques, what is this? Deluxe crease brush, just to sort of blend that out. And you can see you can wear just this and get away with it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Oh, you can wear just this and get away with it because it just leaves a really pretty sort of sheen on your eye. Okay, and I'm going to go in with this eyeshadow. This is the Urban Decay Sin eyeshadow. It's one of my all-time favorites, and I'm going to use it with just a fluffy brush because I'm not really trying to pack stuff on and make it look perfect. It's just really quick, takes me a few minutes, but look at that. It just blends out really evenly. And what I've been doing is I've been just using whatever bronzer I used that day in my crease, because that way it just makes it even easier that I don't have to even take out a crease brush, a crease color or anything. So just take this Sin and just kind of buff it back and forth just to kind of like soften any harsh edges. The bronzer I'm using today is actually this one. It's by Kardashian Beauty, and it's the Cabana bronze. So I'm just going to use a mixture of these two together. I just do this on both sides of my brush, and I'm just going to pop this into the crease. You can do as many layers of this as you want to, just to deepen it a little bit, but I am not going to go too heavy because I don't want it to look like a heavy cut crease. Okay. That is pretty much the shadow done. And now we're going to go on to the liner and kind of smoking it out. You can use any liner, any pencil liner you like. I would just make sure that it's one that you can smudge out and it's not going to tug on your eye, because you never really want to tug hard on your eye. But this has been what I've been trying to go through my collection and use things that I haven't used in a long time, or if ever. And this is something that came with, I don't even know what. This is the Buxom eyeliner in Call Me. It's very creamy. I like to work with one eye at a time for this, personal preference. I just feel like it makes it so that it doesn't dry and then it's hard to blend. So what I've been doing is I've just been taking this liner, just hold on your eye a little bit and kind of draw like a little wing. You know what I mean? So like this. Don't go all the way in. Well, you can if you want to. I go about 3/4 of the way in. Looks crazy, looks messy, but trust me, it works. So just kind of, you can see, I drew kind of like a little wing. I should probably sharpen this. And then what I do is I take this brush, which I love. It's the short shader brush from Sigma. Get real close on my mirror and just start buffing this out, kind of running it back and forth. And then what I do is with whatever's left over, I just kind of drag it towards the inner corner. Just like that. Once you have it all smudged out, you look crazy. One side will look longer than the other, but it doesn't matter because now you can take a Q-tip, or I like to take a makeup remover wipe, wrap it around my finger, and just sharpen that up and clean it up, and it just makes the biggest difference. And the whole, you know, the kind of the beauty about this look, it's that sort of smudged out, like smoky, yet not a strong, it almost looks like it's gray. So I really like that, but you can do a liquid liner if you don't prefer a look like this, but it's up to you really. And you can do a colorful liner too. You could do a brown liner, you could do a purple, a blue, whatever tickles your fancy. I'm just going to take this brush, which is the 217 from MAC. Any brush will do, really. I'm going to go into the darkest color of that bronzer just because I want to deepen it up at that very outer corner a little tiny bit more. And I like to kind of connect it to the very, like, sort of pointy part of the eyeliner. Now it's easy, just curl your lashes. I am going to apply some falsies, kind of the only corner ones, because I feel like this can look like such an easy, and it is such an easy, effortless look, perfect for almost every day, whether it's, you know, work or whatever. But it's also something that as soon as you put on a pair of lashes, even corners, it just kind of like jazzes it up a little bit, making it so that you can go from day to night by just applying some, you know, false lashes or maybe a brighter lip or something like that. So I'm just going to apply some of this on. I like to do 2 coats of the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black, and then I'm going to do 1 coat of the Voluminous Million Lashes. And I'm just going to apply little corners of lashes, and you can use, you know, I cut up lashes all the time. I don't know, I feel like it's easy, and also I have small eyes, so most of the time a whole strip of lash is way too big for me. So instead of cutting them and letting them go to waste, I just cut each one in half and then use them as corners, and I love it. It works really well. So I'm gonna pop these on, and then we're gonna do the rest of the face. For primer, I'm actually going to use this one, and I've really been liking it. I got it from Sephora as a sample, and it's the Clinique Super Primer Universal Face Primer, I guess, from Clinique. And I really have been liking it. So I'm just going to apply some of this kind of on both sides of my cheeks, and a little bit of my chin, and a tiny bit on the forehead. And I'm going to give you a nice tip that I mean, it helps me anyway. You guys know I like to apply my moisturizer with a brush. I like using like a brush like this, like a duo fiber brush that's not too dense. I also like using that same brush to apply my primer because it still has a little bit of that moisturizer in there. It makes your primer really glide onto the skin. So try it. I think you'll really like it. And also, because you're using a brush, it's going to soak up some of the excess product, and therefore you're not going to be left with too much primer, too much moisturizer, where it's just not, your foundation just won't sink into the skin. It'll kind of just sit on top of everything. But using a brush really just soaks up the excess, and I don't know, I really like it. I like using the brush. I always have. While that sets for a few seconds, I'm going to go in with my Armani Corrector in number 2. I'm just going to pop this right under the eyes. And then I like to just take my finger. You can use whatever finger you like. And I'm just like patting this underneath the eyes, really focusing on the very inner corner where I have the darkest color, like darkest discoloration, not discoloration, but dark circles. Okay, now I'm going to go in with my foundation. This is a foundation I'm going to be using. It's the Hellow Flawless Oil-Free Yada Yada by Benefit Foundation. I'll leave it, of course, in the description box below. What is the color I'm in? Oh, it's All That Rage Beige. It's a nice foundation. I'm only using about that much. And I'm going to be using my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. Apply some of that on. You know I don't like to apply on the forehead. I just like to apply it everywhere else but the forehead. Tiny bit on the nose, but not much. And then I'm going to go in and just buff it into the skin. You can use a beauty blender, and I really like using a beauty blender, but I thought it was a hair. But the problem with a beauty blender is that I have to run to the bathroom to get it damp and everything, and I don't want to have to reset all of my lighting, because as soon as you move, everything just goes crazy because it's going to start focusing on the back, and all that stuff. So just bring a little bit of that on to the neck so everything matches seamlessly. Okay, my foundation has had about 5 minutes or so to sort of sink into the skin, and now I'm going to go in with my concealer, and I cannot help it. I'm going to go to my Maybelline Fit Me concealer in Sand. I don't know if I told you guys this, but I tried the Naked Skin from Urban Decay in the color medium light. It's very cool, kind of gray, so I don't care for it, but I was in Sephora and I tested the medium light in warm, I believe it was, and it was beautiful, beautiful. But I went to get it and they were completely sold out of that shade, so I will give it another go as soon as I'm near a Sephora, because it looked very promising, because I do love the finish and the consistency of that, just didn't like the color. I'm going to pop this under the eye. I'm not going to go in for like major highlighting kind of all over the skin, all over the face. What I'm going to do is just use I'm running out of this. I'm going to use the excess of whatever is left over on my brush to kind of go on the chin and everything, just to balance it out. I just like using the same brush because I feel like once it has already foundation on it, then that just makes it blend easier. And I just like to take whatever's left over and go on the chin and then the forehead. I'm going to set this right away using the Reserve Your Cabana from Wet n Wild. I'm actually going to use the Reserve Your Cabana all over the face. It's a beautiful powder. It really is. I'm in love with it. I'm just going to use a bigger brush to just pat this onto the skin and get rid of any sort of dewiness and shininess, because I've said this before, I like looking dewy and shiny where I want to put it, you know what I mean? And this also doesn't leave your face looking matte and heavy. It's a really beautiful powder. And then I'm going to go in with my Cabana bronze, same one. And I'm just going to take this brush, which is just the Sephora powder brush, number 31. I'm just going to mix together these two colors. This is a nice bronzer, by the way. I don't know if you ever tried it. It's not too heavy, but I don't really need heavy bronzer because this foundation is quite warm and it matches me really well. I just want to balance the skin a little bit more. For blush, I'm going to go in with this one by Tarte, and it's called Magic, and it's one of the Amazonian Clay 12-hour blushes, and this is my Sedona Lace 850 angled brush. I really like using this brush for blush. Just pat that onto the cheekbone. Woo, that is really pigmented. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to go over top of this with the blush is kind of matte, and you can still see a little bit of glow, but I want just a little something more. I'm going to go over it with the Lorac Tantalizer Baked Bronzer. I have a little tiny one. This isn't really a bronzer for me. It's definitely not deep enough to be a bronzer, but it's great as like a blush topper. And it just really just adds a little bit more glow and warmth to the skin. And I've had several people ask me why my eyeliner runs underneath my eyes. It's not eyeliner. As you can see, I have no eyeliner underneath there whatsoever. I have sort of dark veins underneath my eyes, and no matter what foundation, no matter what concealer, no matter what, it's just going to show through. And I'm okay with that because it just gives the illusion that you're not trying to cake up your under eyes so much. A little bit of your natural skin showing through is not a big deal to me whatsoever. Before I finish the under eyes, I'm going to set my face with the Makeup Forever setting spray. It's a new fresh bottle. Look, it's completely full and it feels so good. Let's give it a go. I love it. I love that stuff. Let's just fan it so we can let it set. I'm not going to use any lower lash line liner or anything. I'm just using a little bit of mascara. What? I'm just using a little bit of mascara, just the same one, the Telescopic, a little tiny bit on the lower lashes. I have really weirdly long lower lashes, like especially over here. I always have to cut them because they end up touching my skin under there, so it's very frustrating. So let's move on to the lips. I'm gonna do something a little bit different, not that different, but it's beautiful, and I've been wearing it on Instagram a lot. I got the idea from Amanda Ensing. I don't know how you say her last name, but she's a YouTuber. She's beautiful. I will leave her link down below. She did a nude lip, pink lip, really, it's not nude. It's like a mauve pink lip using this combo, and I loved it, except she used Rambutan lip gloss from Bite Beauty. Mine's in my purse, so I'm going to use this today, which is the lip gloss from Lorac in the color Nick. But first, I'm going to outline and fill in my lips entirely using MAC lip pencil in Soar, which is a total favorite. I think everybody will love this, and I think you need to have this in your makeup collection. So, like I always say, take your time with your lips, fill them in, outline them however you want to. If you want to overline your lips, by all means, go for it. Then I'm gonna go in with NARS lipstick in Raquel. And then can I please not keep one thing without dropping today? And this is the Audacious lipstick, by the way. And then I'm gonna go over it with this lip gloss from Lorac. Is the finished look. I hope that you like it. It's really simple. It's just been my go-to nowadays, and I've really been loving it. So let me know what you want to see next. I know I've gotten a lot of questions about my haircut and my new way of styling it, and I've gotten so many of you asking if you want if I could go more in depth on it for you. So if you want to see that, please let me know down below. I've really been loving it, and I'll kind of give you a better idea of what I asked for when I went to get it cut and all that stuff. So let me know down below. Let me know down below. I'm gonna rhyme. And yeah, this is it. So I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.